Hello everyone, welcome. Thank you for joining me. This is Lee with Lee's Trees, and today we're going to be repotting our Thoweil Hinoki Cypress. This is my front of the tree. To the right side, to the back, to the left side, and back to the front. I've had this tree a couple of years now, and it's been in this pot. Now I think it needs some different growing soil. And this is a tree I am having some problems with the black slime mold on top of the roots. So we want to take care of that. So let me reset the camera and set up for some dirty work, and we'll be right back. All right, I've changed camera angle and got out my potting mat for my dirty work here. And nope, the tree is not tied in. So we can just pull it out. And I'm going to take and wash the pot out here in a little bit. First, let's see how this looks. See, again, there's very little root growing in this potting mixture that I've got. That's part of why I'm trying to change all of this out. And I'm not sure how well you can see that, but that's some of that black slime mold issue that I'm having problems with. I'll have to make sure I sterilize my mat later on. I'm just going to come in and cut a lot of that away. There's a root right there. Got this tree after watching Northwest Bonsai. I believe it's Ben is his name. Yeah, when I put this in this pot the last time, I did not do a really good repotting on it. So this time we're going to correct that. I'm almost worried that I'm not seeing a lot of white ends on the tips of these roots as this is breaking away. Don't know how much of this is alive. Hopefully most of it. So I've got what appears to be a taproot here coming out of the bottom. Bunch of dirt in there. Try and clean that up. And I am able to get my tool and work it out. And it does have a little bit of root attached to it, but not a great lot, or not a great amount of root. So I'm going to go ahead and take that off and come up in here. And that will help it sit in a pot better. So I'm going to try and get rid of as much of this old soil as I can. I might actually go ahead and take this outside right here and give it a rinse and a wash, and we'll come back here in a few moments. And we're back here with our Thoweil Hinoki Cypress. I've washed out the roots a bit. That's where I just cut that one off just before we went outside. So I want to give what's left a little bit of a look over here. See which direction things are going. For instance, that one's going all sorts of crazy directions. Oh, I think, oh, okay, never mind, that's still a little bit of soil up in there. Just going to try and trim some of the roots off the top there. So that root makes a weird turn, and that one's got a weird turn to it. Not sure what that was, maybe a piece of paper or something, I'm not sure. Okay, and that root's going straight down. Oh, that one. Oh, so is that one. So we do have some nice roots at what looks to be the front, our Nabari. Could use a few more in the back. Set that down for a moment. And as I was saying, I was having some issues with this tree with the black slime mold. So while I have the roots here bare, I want to give it a wash. And this is equal parts 5% white vinegar, equal part water, and a little bit of Dawn dish soap added in. Alright, so now I'm going to go and give that a rinse, just to wash all the soap and everything off. And I'll come back with you in a few moments. Here's my tree. I took and washed the pot out while I was washing the tree out. And it's a really lovely pot and doesn't really have any flaws or spots that make it very interesting. So we'll just make sure we just pick a main foot to be the front. So that looks good there. And I do want to tie the tree in, since I removed a bunch of roots, so let me grab a piece of wire. This is our Akadama pumice and lava. Okay, so I've got a foot facing towards me. I've got my tree in here. Wiggle it in a little. So I'm going to have to wiggle it a little further down on my left. Turns there. So let me see how I'm looking. It could maybe tip over. There we go. Tip to my left a little bit better. Okay. And now, oh. Well, I've got some roots there. I don't want to get them caught up in my tie-down wire. And And just one more little turn. That's got it sitting really nice in there. And we'll cut off our excess wire. And I want to make sure I remember, since I gave those roots a wash with the vinegar and the soap and everything, make sure we hit this with our mycorrhiza. Bit more on that side. That looks okay. Chopstick it in. Not seeing any roots poking up out of the bonsai soil, out of the mixture here. That's good. And there you have our Thoweil Hinoki Cypress. And I will give you one last spin here in just a moment. We're back with our Thoweil Hinoki Cypress. This is our front right here. Turn it around to the right side, to the back, to the left side, and back to the front. We'll put it back in the greenhouse for a little bit, just because we got a few cool days coming up. I'm going to put some more of the mycorrhiza on the top here, just before I take it outside and give it a really good watering. Thank you for watching. I hope you'll like and subscribe.